project, and this is just a random live session that I'm doing. We adopted a new dog, and she's sitting right here next to me. Right there, Georgie. You want to say hello? She's resting. She's resting here. With any luck, people can hear me. So I have a different mic setup than I may normally have. So I see there are a couple people on. Please let me know if you can hear me or not. That would be super cool. If you can actually hear me, that's always better than when you cannot hear me. So appreciate you hopping on, by the way. So working on the lighting here. Mark's on. What's up? Mark, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? I'm going. Okay, Emil's on. David's on. David, what's up? Good to have you on. So cool. All right. You can see we have our makeshift Christmas corner there. So it's really just a couple of trekking poles with some lights on it, but here right now it actually looks reasonable. So you know, we have Florian on as well. So awesome. Yeah, thanks everyone. This is just a random live stream. So I've been slightly preoccupied, and a lot of it has to do with new dog here, Georgie. So over the last probably week and a half or so, my wife and I have been sort of scouring and looking at the dogs that are available in our area here. So there's a place called Heart of the Valley that basically, I think the average amount of time a dog is in their shelter is like 10 days, 10, 11 days, something like that. So it's pretty quick, just in general. And I see, David, you got to head out, so it's late there. Get your rest, man. I totally understand. So basically, we have been looking at dogs, and we got Georgie last Thursday evening. And if you happen to catch the live stream last Friday, Georgie is a little bit of a barker. Of course, you know, that was less than 24 hours in our house, so she wasn't quite sure about anything. So she heard like a couple car doors close, and she sort of just, you know, went a little berserk, started barking like crazy. But she's calming down a little bit. She is a border collie, and border collies have a lot of energy, and they get a little obsessed with things. She is obsessed with balls, tennis balls in particular, but anything you throw, she'll fetch and bring it back, and then she'll just keep like wanting to do that. Maybe in a few minutes we can do that just a couple times. She's also a very aggressive like chewer, and like she'll just demolish a toy like that. She's also very needy. She's literally like trying to crawl into my lap, which I'll just show you down here. She's jealous, or she's shy rather. Maybe she's a little jealous of the camera. She sighed there. And for people that don't like dogs, I'm sure this is super boring, but for me, it's really exciting. So we had a dog named Brody for about 10 years. So I adopted Brody before I met my wife. So I had Brody for a little while. And Georgie, come here. You want to get on the camera a little bit? Here, let's scooch. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. So basically, we had Brody for about 10 years, and he died in May, which was very sad. He got cancer. He actually like lived longer than we expected, given the diagnosis and all that stuff. It was bladder cancer, and eventually for about the last 6 weeks, he took prednisone, the steroid, and it really, I mean, it amped him up. He had tons of energy. He was still walking a few miles a day at 15 for a border collie, which is pretty old. So anyway, Brody died. We were very sad. We didn't like turn around and get a dog right away. A lot of people, in fact, some close friends of mine, you know, their dog passed away from old age, and they ended up like getting a new dog within 5 or 6 days, like right away. Of course, you know, dogs need homes and all that stuff, but it may have been good for them to like mourn a little bit longer, which we did, probably unhealthily for several months. My light fell down, but it looks like it's okay here. So anyway, we were checking out a couple dogs, and there was another. We're partial, or at least I am partial to Border Collies. They're very smart, high energy, and you know, people are obsessed with certain breeds. I like Border Collies. We have a friend who likes Labs. Some people use them for, purposes like, hunting, bird hunting, especially around here. I just like Border Collies because they have a lot of energy, and they're a little crazy. They're smart and they're a little crazy, so maybe I relate to that in some way. Anyway, there was this one dog named Scooter who was very, he didn't show well, right? So we went to visit him, and he barked quite a lot. The thing is, being in a kennel, dogs can get pretty, I don't know, neurotic. So, and I see a couple chats coming through. So if you have anything to say, I'm sitting far away, so I'll have to come back up in a second, but feel free to chat. I see a couple people may have joined up. I appreciate it. And yeah, this is Georgie here. She was named that already. We didn't name her. In the face, she looks very much like our old dog Brody, but she's a little bit smaller, and her coat is much sort of different. She has a lot of white on her, but in the face, she looks super similar. She's about 20% smaller. She weighs about 40. She weighs 45 pounds, but she's a little chubby, so we're hoping we can get her some exercise and maybe trim her down just a little bit, get her a little bit leaner here. So she's a little smaller than our old dog. So anyway, we met Scooter. Scooter was 8 years old. He had several teeth missing. He didn't show well. I actually walked him a few times just to, meet him and spend time with him, see if he mellowed out and that sort of thing. It turned out that he did. He actually mellowed out a ton. Seemed to be a great dog. And on Wednesday night of last week, my wife went to go see Scooter and walk him a little bit more. I had gone to see Scooter like 2 additional times, and my wife went to go see him one more time, and she liked him. She really connected with him, and I'm pretty sure we were going to put in an application within a couple days. However, right before we went to bed, she checked to see on the website if he was still listed on the website. He wasn't. He got adopted that evening right before they closed. So another couple I asked, the facility, the shelter, another couple had been looking at Scooter for several days, and they brought their other dog in to meet Scooter, liked him, and then they took him home that evening. So I'm going to pause here for a second. I'm going to take a look at the chat. I appreciate everyone hopping on here for this ad hoc session, and I'll try not to get in the way there. Okay, so Kent asks, what's the shedding situation with that breed? So it does depend a little bit on the specific dog. There are short coat Border Collies. She is going to shed, I would say like a moderate to heavy amount. However, it's going to be less than our old dog. So I could tell already her fur is a little bit less sheddy, which is good because the shedding gets to be a bit much. And appreciate it. I appreciate that, Kent. She is a good looking dog. And Julie as well. Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay. I'm going to pause here for a second and say one of the other reasons I'm hopping on today right now. I guess I could pull the light back over here. Take advantage of that. So another reason I'm on here today, I have a pilot course that came out this week. It went for sale yesterday. There's only 2.5 more days. Enrollment's open till the end of the day Thursday. It's on productivity. So if you enjoy some of the stuff that I have been working on, this is a good chance to work with me closely. You're probably going to have almost 100% likely one-on-one time. Couple interesting things with this course over the others. So one, it's a pilot course. So this is like pre-beta. It's going to be rough around the edges. We're working through the material together. I want your suggestions as a student, and I want you to help shape it. I want you to be involved. I'm also going to give you a behind the scenes look at launching, revising a course, all the things that people talk about with courses, online courses. I'll be able to peel back, pull the curtain, and you could see what I'm doing. I can share conversion rates, revenue, that sort of stuff. This also is a super economic course at $67. If you go, I'll put a link in here later, but if you send me an email, doug@nichesiteproject.com, I'll be able to send you a direct link. You'll notice I'm not like plastering it everywhere. In the description of this video, if you happen to be catching it later, I'll put a description in the video, but I'm doing this video straight from my phone, so I'm kind of limited with what I can like put in there. And my patience is low to like input stuff on the phone. So anyway, Scooter got snatched up right when we were really excited to get Scooter. And in fact, it was right before we went to bed, and my wife was like, Scooter got adopted. And I was like, what? No, like I was really disappointed. And I usually read like a fiction book before bed, so I tried to read my book a little bit, and I was just bummed out. So in fact, I actually got up out of bed, and like, I think I actually was researching Evernote. So that's another story for another day. So I was researching Evernote, deciding if I wanted to like pay for the premium version after some new information that I found. Slight tangent, which is you could take handwritten notes. You could just take notes on paper and then take a picture with your phone, and then it is searchable within Evernote. I didn't know that. My friend Ravi, who I interviewed earlier, actually last week, he told me that you could like do that and it's searchable, and I was like, this is a game changer. I love taking handwritten notes, but I don't have a great way to like copy them over other than like manually copying them, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but wouldn't it be great if this is what I have been doing the last couple days. I'll journal for however long I want to, usually like 10 minutes at least, longer if I have more time. Snap a picture of that, and now I have like a journaling notebook within Evernote. It's handwritten notes that I could search for later. Oftentimes those will have like cool snippets, little stories, stuff like that. So I could go back to it, and I don't have to be staring at a screen like many of us are for large portions of the day. So fast forward. Oh, I gotta tighten these stories up, huh? So fast forward to the next morning. So this is Thursday morning of last week. I believe that was the 30th of November. So the 30th of November, my wife texted me. She says, check out Georgie on Heart of the Valley. She had a little bio on the website. So she just became available, and I was like, cool, looks like a great dog. I'm gonna go as soon as they open at 11:30, and I'm gonna meet her and see what's going on. So immediately, she was awesome. And okay, I see my battery life is very low, so this is not good. I'm gonna plug in my phone here. The funny thing is, my phone, been having major issues with it lately, so there's a chance this whole thing could just crash and not work here. All right. Okay. New angle for a second. So basically, Georgie became available on Thursday morning. I got there as soon as they opened. I was pumped. I thought Georgie was awesome, and I filled out an application immediately. When you fill out an application, you have the ability to put the dog on hold, or basically reserve the dog, right, for 24 hours. So no one else can adopt. They can fill out applications, but we're sort of at the top of the list. So I was pumped about meeting Georgie. She was very cool. She has some issues, which I'll talk about in another video. But the thing is, she was great. She basically like warmed up to me right away. Was decent on a leash. Turns out most dogs are like really not trained at all, and you know, people just don't know what a trained dog is like. But Georgie's reasonable. You can see she's watching me through the little through the little TV tray over there. She's watching me through there. So my wife, I told my wife, hey, come after work, you have to meet Georgie. She's great, and I want to put in an application, and the rest is history. So my wife came after work, picked me up. We went down there, spent a few minutes, talked to the dog behavior specialist there about Georgie's issues. She has some slight aggression issues. Again, whole other video. We are actually into like training dogs, or at least our dogs. So we have a lot of work ahead of us, but it's been awesome going out and walking her. That was one of the things Brody and I did. Obviously, you know, every day you have to walk your dog, but we were very into, you know, being outside, walking. So even, I'll actually show outside in just a second, but even with like snow outside in the last few days, we got like about 8 to 10 inches of snow. Everything cool over there, Georgie? All right. She's just scratching over there. So we got plenty of snow, but even that, I mean, I love still walking outside, getting the exercise, and kind of cool. Over the last, I think like 3 to 4 days, I've averaged like 20,000 steps a day, which is quite a lot. Most days I was getting around 10,000, you know, on average about 10,000, some days less, some days more. But now with Georgie, who has what seems to be like endless energy. Wow, she's really itching over there, huh? You all right, girl? So she'll just like walk forever. In the first couple of days, I think we were just like really, Are you chasing your tail? What are you doing? What's going on? You all right? All right. Okay, I think Georgie may want to play or something here in a second. So, quick sidebar. I want to show you the snow. I'm going to unplug my phone in a second here, but I've had major issues with my phone lately. I'm rocking an iPhone 6 currently, but I'll probably do a live stream tomorrow to tell you I just ordered a new phone. I'm very excited about it. And I mean, I've had this phone for a long time. I don't tend to like burn through phones or break them or anything like that. So I've had this phone for like about 30 months, pretty long time. So anyway, let me show you the snow real quick, and with any luck, my phone's not gonna die while I'm doing it. So, all right, I know a couple people are still here. Anyone have like a lot of snow where you're at, or what's the weather like where you're at currently? So you can see we have quite a bit of snow. If I had, I mean, that only honestly looks like about 4 inches or so right there, but in some of the drifts it definitely gets to be a little bit more. Ben says there's a drought happening over there. Where you at, Ben? A lot of places do have droughts going on, and I mean, this is like a, you know, a pretty normal sort of sunset here in Montana. You can see mountains in the distance. Of course, there's some tree or houses back there. We actually had like a pretty nice view of the mountains over there for a while before they built those houses. And Ben's in New Zealand. Gotcha. Yeah, so it's pretty nice here overall. And funny thing, you could see these little prints right here. That's the neighbor cat. So the neighbor cat comes over and stares in the window. It's kind of creepy. And then she'll jump over the fence over there. And yeah, so she'll come, and every now and then I'll open the I'll like open the blinds up at like 6 in the morning when it's dark, and there's a little cat staring at me. Little scary, little frightening sometimes. So, okay, I'm gonna call it a day here. Thanks everyone for hopping on. I'll probably do, you know, maybe a couple more of these little like random live streams now that my schedule is slightly stabilizing after my travel back to Georgia and like trying to adopt a new dog and then finally getting a new dog. So thanks everyone. And again, if you're interested in the productivity course, it's already more than half full. So I haven't like tried to push scarcity or anything, but there is a cap. We're over halfway there. So I do expect it to fill up. and I'm looking forward to working with everybody. One other thing I'll mention about that productivity course, there will be, instead of a private Facebook group, it'll be a private Skype chat. So trying something a little different. I do try and stay out of Facebook, so I'm gonna help facilitate that by placing this in a Skype group and see how it goes. So everyone have a great day, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks.